Hello everybody. Um, Sorry this is out so late. I actually I'm in college now, so it's been a while persisting out. This was supposed to go out the first week following 9/11. But obviously this is now first week of October, so we're a little less than a month out. But anyways, yeah, this is going to be my my video about active defense, reflecting um, reflecting how 9/11 and the work that was done by our troops to be able to support us for 9/11, how that helped us out, and how that reinforces the act of defense with the troops directly defending our nation after the attack, and how the troops were defending each other. So I'm going to go through these battles, and unfortunately it's going to be far less focused. I'm only going to be going through 5 battles, but next year I'm hopefully going to go a lot more. So anyways, continuing on.
Welcome back to Active Defense. My name's Eric. This is episode number 11. This episode is the beginning of a new series where I go over the various military battles that occurred after the 9/11 attacks 21 years ago. I also thought I would do this as a continuing memorial to those who died in the terrorist attacks and to those sent to bring those terrorist leaders to justice. I also wanted to do this because, I was one of those Marines sent to the Iraq War due to WMDs. Just to show you. This was my old uniform from way back when. So, it doesn't have my medals and stuff. I have quite a few of them. I mean, I'm blessed with that. But it doesn't have those things because it's been 21 years and they got a little messed up. So, maybe in a future video I'll be able to show you guys that. But yeah, I was one of those Marines. So, thought you guys would like to see that. Anyways, I invite you to send me articles of related stories from other countries, since the principles of self-defense by gun are universal, although they are codified in U.S. law. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to your right, and become a patron of my channel by the Patreon link in the description. Also, feel free to share your thoughts on active defense and how our founders provided for our national defense. Let's get into it.
So for the fall of Mazar-e-Sharif, the fall of Mazar-e-Sharif on November 2001 resulted from the first major offensive of the Afghan War after American intervention. A push into the city of Mazar-e-Sharif in Balkh province by the United Islamic Front for Salvation of Afghanistan, meaning the Northern Alliance, combined with U.S. Special Forces aerial bombardment, resulted in the withdrawal of Taliban forces who had held the city since 1998. After the fall of outlying villages and an intensive bombardment, the Taliban and al-Qaeda forces withdrew from the city. Several hundred pro-Taliban fighters were killed, approximately 500 were captured, and approximately 1,000 reportedly detected. The capture of Mazar-e-Sharif was the first major defeat for the Taliban. Okay, next article. Next fight, I should say. Siege of Kunduz. The Siege of Kunduz took place on 2001 during the war in Afghanistan. After the fall of Mazar-e-Sharif on November, the focus of the Northern Alliance advance shifted toward the city of Kunduz, which was the last remaining Taliban stronghold in northern Afghanistan. And you can go into the details here. But next article. To the fall of Kabul. Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, fell in November 2001 to the Northern Alliance forces during the war in Afghanistan. Northern Alliance forces began their attack on the city on 13 November and made swift progress against Taliban forces that were heavily weakened by American and British airstrikes. The advance moved ahead of plans, and the next day the Northern Alliance forces, supported by ODA 555, that'll be, there you go, Special Forces Group ODA, it'll be explained later, entered Kabul and met no resistance inside the city. Taliban forces retreated to Kandahar in the south. Coupled with the fall of Mazar-i-Sharif 5 days earlier, the capture of Kabul was a significant blow to Taliban control of Afghanistan as a result of all the losses. Surviving members of the Taliban and Al-Qaeda retreated toward Kandahar, the spiritual birthplace and home of the Taliban movement, and Tora Bora. Okay, next article. Pardon me. The 2001's uprising in Herat was a coordinated insurrection and uprising on the Afghan city of Herat as part of the United States war in Afghanistan. The city was captured on November 12th by Northern Alliance forces as well as special forces of the United States, the United Kingdom, and the Islamic Republic of Iran. Now it's interesting. That means that that Iran actually worked with us in a fight way back when. So they were not always our enemy. We'll see what the future holds, huh? Okay, continuing on. Battle of Tarin Khat. The Battle of Tarin Khat took place in 2001 during the war in Afghanistan on November 14th. ODA 574 and Hamid Karzai inserted into Uruzgan province. I really hope I did not mispronounce that. Via 4 MH-60K helicopters, the Blackhawks, with a small force of guerrillas. In response to the approach of Karzai's force, the inhabitants of the town of Tarin Khat revolted and expelled their Taliban administrators. Karzai traveled to Tarin Khat to meet with the town elders. While he was there, the Taliban marshaled a force of 500 men to retake Tarin Khat. Karzai's small force plus the American contingent, which consisted of U.S. Special Forces from ODA 574 and their U.S. Air Force Combat Controller, Tech Sergeant Alex Yoshimoto, were deployed in front of the town to block their advance. Relying heavily on close air support directed by Yoshimoto, the American-Afghan force managed to halt the Taliban advance and drive them away from the town. The defeat of the Taliban in Tarin Khat was an important victory for Karzai, who used the victory to recruit more men to his fledgling guerrilla band. His force would grow in size to peak around 800 men. On November 30, they left Tarin Khat and began advancing on Kandahar. The story has been told on The Only Thing Worth Dying For by Eric Belm, detailing the experiences of Operational Detachment Alpha, which is what ODA stands for, a U.S. Special Forces ODA. Okay, I guess that's about it. Again, sorry for how late this is, and I just wanted to salute all of my brothers and sisters in the military. I myself was, I believe I mentioned in the intro, part of, not this part, but I was in the Marines at the time at a different aspect of the war on terror at the time. But for those of you who were in this and those who were lost, I salute you and your families. Okay, and this is exactly what active defense is about. We're actively defending our nation. So, God bless and have a good one.
Thank you for watching, and if you are willing, please consider donating at the Patreon link below so I can continue to improve the quality of the videos, as well as increase their exposure so the YouTube algorithm puts them in front of more eyes. Have a good night.